Good morning, everyone. This is our first creator studio to learn and grow and gain some skills. And then we'll have some time afterwards to connect with each other. And so, Jackie, thank you so much for coming. I just really appreciate you taking the time and to lead us through an exercise, because that's what we want to do. We want to have a skill that we can put into our businesses today and to walk forward and propel our businesses forward. So go ahead and just take it away and introduce yourself a little bit, and I'll let you lead us through the session.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. And ladies, I am so excited to be here. You know how much I love the Fave group. And I know I haven't been able to join for a couple accountabilities, Karen, and I've been missing your faces. But I'm back. And today, I wanted to just real quickly tell you a little bit about me. And then I'm going to go through vision. And a lot of you have heard some stuff about vision from me before, but there's some new things that I've kind of learned through the process of visioning lately that I want to go through 4 different steps to how to really take that vision and turn it and start to get it going towards the reality of what you desire. So I'm Coach Jackie. I have Jackie Cote Coaching, and I'm a visionary mindset coach, and I'm really passionate about helping people get get on their way to more time, money, and location freedom. And along that journey, really step into that leader that they're meant to be and awaken that leader within, empower it, and own that leader. Like, own what you got, ladies. So today we're going to focus on the vision. So with vision, I like to talk about how like the past, we live in a place that sometimes we live in the past where we cannot change, the future where we cannot control, that future worries of the what ifs. And really, in reality, it's we get to live in the now. But if we live in the now of where we're at today and do the same things and the same thoughts, actions, thoughts, feelings, and all that stuff and beliefs, we're going to get exactly what we have today, right? So we do want something different than today moving forward, and whatever area of life that is. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We have an exercise to do on the call, and then I've got a little homework. Don't freak out when I say the word homework. Some people do. So when we step into today, how do we make today different so we take different actions, have different feelings, have different thoughts? Well, that's with creating the vision, creating a vision of what you desire. What are your goals? But not just your goals, not just the tangible things, like whether it's like money, the business, the clients, the weight loss, whatever it is. What is it about those goals? Once you achieve them, what would you feel? We'll go through all the senses. What would you feel, see, hear, all of that? And so that you can bring everything of what you would experience when you got the external goal and bring that to the present, which is the internal intentions of wanting that goal. If we can get the brain to live, to understand, to know that it's true, the internal intentions around the goal that you desire, then the brain can start functioning as if that intention is that goal has already happened, that it's real. And then you get to step into that version of you it's already done, right? Whatever that goal is. Because sometimes we go so hard towards, we're taught our whole life to like, set a goal, go for it, set a goal, go for it. We have a time frame. If I don't hit it by this time frame, I'm a failure, and we bring all this stuff with us. And that's actually a whole nother talk that I'm actually putting together about time. We put these time restraints on, and we say by this time, like the new year, we want to start over in the new year, clean slate, put it in the past, and let's start over. Well, not really true. And I think I've probably even said it before. I'm like, oh, leave the past in the past, right? But here's the part about the past I want to add to this, and that I just discovered, is that the previous year, 2021, we have lessons, memories, different things we experienced that added building blocks to where we are today, right? So each year and each time frame in your life, we have building blocks. So instead of saying I'm creating the business of my dreams this year, like, it's what if we were just building year to year on top of each other and stacking to create that empire you want to create, that relationship with yourself and others and love over time, not in a time frame. What if you want the body of your dreams, or like you want to have the fit body you desire, but you can't control whether 10 pounds are going to fall off in 30 days or not. You can't control that. You can't, but if you don't, people go, oh, I didn't do it. Gotta start over. No. What did you learn? What were the memories that you had? What are the lessons that you had along the way of that 30 days that you can build upon to continue towards the fit body versus just the 10 pounds and the time frame you set around there? So if we could just like kind of release time when we talk about stuff, let's just like get rid of time, because we can't control that how and the when. That stuff shows up when it's going to show up based on high power, God, whole nother thing, right? You get to control the front end, the process, the journey, the feelings, the thoughts, like all that stuff on the front end. That's what you get to control, is you. All right. So I want to walk through a couple steps, and I'm going to go through them all, and we'll get it all together. And then at the end, we're going to open it up and actually do the activity. And then we'll talk about what the take home activity is. First is you got to decide, got to figure out when you're visioning, where are you today? You need a starting point, right? You need to know where you are today. And I do this exercise. So you're going to grab a piece of paper, blank sheet in your notebook, and draw like a circle. Can you see that? Just a big circle. We're going to make a pizza pie out of it. And some of you have probably maybe done this exercise similar some way, but let's do it again. Let's look at it and see, where are we currently? So you're going to draw the circle, and you're going to, make 8 pieces out of it, just like you would put a line down the middle, a line across, and then a line, and then a line. Create the 8 pieces of the pie. I'll give you a minute for that. And now we're going to go around the pie, and each piece of the pie, I want you to write these words on the top line of the circle. The first one's going to be business, career, professional, whatever you want to call it. Business, career, professional, one of the pieces of the pie. And you can choose the word that relates best to you, or you can write all of them. The next piece of the pie is finance, money, wealth. This will be a good one for Victoria. The third one's education, personal development, learning. The fourth one is health, wellness. The next one is family. The next one would be romance, love. Next one is friends, fun, social, which I'm going to add to when I come to Washington and see you guys. I want a boat. Melissa. I want to get on a boat with all of you. We'll plan that again. The next one is environment, whether it's your physical environment of where you work, physical environment of where you live, your environment. And those are the pies we're going to work with today. You can also, some people like to add the spiritual side of things in there and other pieces. We're going to work with these today, but feel free to do this any way you'd like and add whatever pie maybe that you want to add to it or change to. So now you're going to go with each pie, and the center is 1, and the external part of the circle, the outside of the circle, is 10. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to just drop a line somewhere that would be whatever number you want to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 that you feel like you're in the area. 10 is like, I'm killing it. Like this pie is full. This piece is maxed. So if you feel like you are like killing it in the finance, money, and wealth department, and you're like, your behaviors in the front end, like what's being produced, what's going on, you are a 10. That whole thing would be 10. But if you feel like, okay, I'm right kind of in the middle, like I'm on my way, and I'm at around maybe a 6, So education, personal development and learning. What number are you on that from a scale of 1 to 10? Do you feel like you are, for me, this one raised just recently for me. I've always done well since I started the coaching journey of getting my personal development, hiring coaches, being supported. But then I got too supported. Like that was my choice, right? I was filling too many coaches in and too many things and too many voices, and then I couldn't hear my own. I kind of had too much noise, and I had to reduce that, clear it up, and then ask, sit quietly with my higher power and myself and just figure out like, what is it that I need? And now I've created the support that I desire for this year, starting this year out. So I put myself in an 8 there because I feel like I'm really, really taking what I've learned, integrated it, but also enough where I still get to be me and hear me. So go around and pick a number, and you can, I picked a number, and then I kind of put a line around. I'll show you that picture again. So you can physically see kind of where you're at. And this is a great exercise to do every quarter, or every 6 months, or every year, and look back to see like where you're at. And sometimes the categories go backwards, right? For me, like I kind of my health and wellness journey of like working out and movement and eating right, and my business kicking it and things are rolling, and I'm like making decisions like that and taking risks and going for it. They kind of go like this. Like I'm really good at health and wellness, and then I'm like I'm not really focused on business, and then I kind of when I get really focused on business and I'm rocking and rolling over here, then I'm not working out. And I don't know why. Like I'm still trying to like rewire that brain that like the business, the wealth and health and wellness. And I know this, like logically, I know health and wellness is the foundation to everything, right? But how do I get this and this for my mindset to work at the same time, to roll at the same time? I come from 30 years of an industry where you never really took care of yourself because you work so hard. Like it was like the back burner was you work 70 hours in that. And the back burner was, oh, what? Work out, take care of yourself. That's crazy talk. You got to work and you got to be successful. And that's where I come from. So I'm just learning how to like make this a layer of this. So my health and wellness is around a 5. And then my business was a little elevated right now when I wrote this one out, was about a 7. And so you decide where you're at. So that's the first step. And so once you figure out where you're at, I talk a lot about don't live in the past or anything like that, but there is part of the past we really want to bring with us. So if you pretended you had like a purse, a satchel, whatever kind of like fancy bag from 2021 that you want, what do you want to take from 2021 and put in the bag and carry into 2022? And what do you want to leave back there? Right? So what lessons do you have from 2021? Now I'm going to give you a fun way to do this. This phone holds 12 months of memories and lessons and everything with our pictures. And if you're not a big picture taker and you haven't, that's okay. There's other ways that you have documented your life, whether it's through the calendar. The Google Calendar will tell you a lot. So however, when you have a paper calendar, maybe you have like a journal and you're really, I'm not organized with my journals. Like I never actually remember what I wrote and where and from what meeting, but I know it's all impacting me, right? So for me, it was pictures. I'm a picture fanatic. So this is the take-home exercise. I'm going to kind of throw it all out there and then we're going to talk about it at the end. But the take-home exercise is creating a hindsight vision board. Never done this. And I just had this aha. I heard someone say this and I was like, what? And the Hindsite Vision Board is going through every month, January, February. And gosh, I realize I take too many pictures sometimes, right? I have like 52 pictures of the baby all within 5 minutes. I'm like, stop, right? So I had to filter through. So I suggest, I figured out that if I go into Facebook, my Facebook is all the prime pictures of all the different areas. So I went back to January of Facebook, all the things that I uploaded, and February and March and April and all that stuff through Facebook. And that actually helped me narrow down the pictures. I went to my uploads because my phone has like 7,000 pictures or something crazy in it, right? So I went through and I pulled and I actually printed them. I printed them out, right? Like Karen's face, right? When does a picture ever come out of this phone into actual print form? So I went through and I just picked them and I went to a Walmart 1 hour photo. It wasn't easy on mine because it kept kicking me out. But once you get it done, they walk in and it was done in an hour. So I printed my pictures. I even printed, a lot of us probably have like some kind of maybe mantra app that comes to our phone or something like that. I even printed some of the mantras that came in, the words and stuff like that. And these are like 9 cents a picture with Walmart, right? And I have a big poster board. And I haven't done the poster board part yet because we're transitioning RV to another RV. It's a long story. But I'm going to take all of these and put them on a poster board tomorrow. It's on my calendar, scheduled it. And I'm going to put them as a vision board, just like you would normally do. But this is a vision board of lessons learned and memories had from 2021 that I want to bring with me into 2022 to impact the vision building we're going to do for 2022. And I kind of it's funny, we want to start with this clean slate, but it's just not, it's not a good way because you lose all of that meat from the past and you forget to celebrate what you created. And every woman on this call, I guarantee, has a hindsight vision board that someone else is dreaming their life to be. When you put it together, someone else is going to look at your, and then someone else in this world is going to look at your board and be like, man, I wish I could have what Jody has. I wish I could live the life that Victoria was living. And no matter, and what's funny is our brain goes to, really, I didn't get that done, I didn't get that done, I didn't do that, like this happened, that happened, right? The brain, the critter brain, that like that brain that likes to just keep us safe, that I tell them go sit in another chair, that part of a brain starts going, but I should have done so much more. That's the purpose of going back to 2021 and looking at your pictures and looking at what you've created, looking at your calendar and going, wow, like, wow. I've got one like where this girl who creates my logoed stuff, she put a picture together and she put together all the logoed stuff she created for me. And I was like, wow, like those are all my clients wearing my shirts. Like those are like my, like I like these like that was I'm a business owner. Like I mean, I've been in business for 2 years, but like now I'm all in. People are wearing it, right? Then I've got like the joy, and I'm gonna do a post, by the way, of the 21 lessons I pulled out. So the part of this Hindsite Vision Board is you're gonna extract up to 21 lessons. You could do 21 if you only want, if it's like one a month, at least one a month you can pick. But what lesson, memory and lesson, like, are you pulling from that? And I have 21 of them, and I can read some of them to you. But like these guys, they bring me joy. Animals bring me joy. And I really discovered that, like, more and more, I took a risk and went for full-time RV living. That was this year, only 6 months ago. It feels like forever, but it's only 6 months ago. And I stepped into the time freedom. I created the time freedom, the location freedom that I desire, and now I help others with. Along the way, I got to see tons of friends. I've stopped in random places with my RV, and I've seen my virtual friends, my clients. I've met some clients I never met in person because of the location freedom and time freedom that I've created. And I still got to see these little guys along the way. We went to Virginia Beach and spent time with them, and now we screen share, we FaceTime, and we take pictures of that. I got to do multiple programs throughout the year. Freedom Seekers was one of my programs. We got to go to Universal Studios, and that was like a spur of the moment decision. It was like, we're going to Florida, let's go to Universal. We're in Florida, let's ride horses in the water. I don't know, I never thought of doing that. So and then like flowers, like the flowers that I purchased throughout the year, even like I take pictures, I love them, and the flowers bring me joy. So I get to live in the joy and the love of what I desire. I posted this picture, and this, like, and part of, like, it's funny. Someone said the other day, they're like, when I was talking about this to another group, and they said, oh, I don't have that many pictures. That's like, I've been taught my whole life that's vain. And then I looked back at my posts on Facebook, and this is one of the most popular posts because it was all natural, me feeling really pretty that day. And I posted it, and it made people feel really good about themselves. And they were posting pictures. I'm like, post your selfie. People were posting their natural selfies and everything. So this brought joy to other people's lives, but that could have been construed as vain in the past, right? Oh, you're so vain. You always want to pick the selfie like thing, right? Celebrate the little things. We won a chili cook-off. Mike and I won a chili cook-off in a little campground. We were like the champions. We drove around in the car with the "We Are the Champions" song with our certificate. How cheesy, right? But how cool is that you get to celebrate the little things? He made the chili. I didn't. I just celebrated the heck out of it that we were winners. Now we're going to go enter the Texas one. That's a big deal. We're going to enter a Texas chili contest next month. So my clients, I have clients that have like, she desired to have a baby and get married. She did it all last year. That was on the list for 2 years. I've been working with this girl, and that was on the list the first year, and it all came true. They wanted a lake house. This is them with the picture of them getting their lake house. And they manifested, they desired it. And so this is January when I went on a retreat, and it was a branding retreat that I'm doing in 2 days. And this is the branding retreat where I got pictures done, where I finally stepped into my real self. I remember the moment when I was like, oh, awkward pictures. Okay. And she got me out of that. And by the end of the photo shoot, she took some boudoir shots of us. Yeah, no, I never thought I'd do a boudoir shot, right? Like Danny's face is like, yes. Because when you step into that, I was like, I am owning this woman this year. and I'm going to be free of the things that doesn't let me own that woman. And freedom was my word. So all of those are replication of my word of 2021, which is freedom. So that's going to go on a hindsight board, and I get to celebrate all of those. And it doesn't matter like how big or small or this and that. There's a lesson and a memory that's going to help you learn a lesson that what you want to bring. So that's step 2, is celebrating the past, really embracing what it is that you accomplished or what you've created or how you've changed. What is it that you're bringing into 2022? And so that's the Hindsite Vision Board. So I would love if you do this and you print the pictures and you make the board. Some people do it virtually. You can do it on Canva. Those of you who are quick on Canva, you can, but there's something going back to old school. I don't know if you guys, but when I was younger, I used to cut the pictures and create photo albums with like all the pictures from high school and college and then I'd put words, because then that's what you would do. You would take like words from magazines or print it up, and you would put like what it is that it brought to you, like love, freedom, possibility, stuff like that. So, and that would be on the board as well. And so when I do mine, I will post it in the group. I will send it to you guys so you can see mine when mine's completed. The third step is, now we've got what we're taking from, we know where we're at. We know where we're at today. We know where we've come from, what we're bringing into 2022, what the lessons were. We've celebrated, we've appreciated, we know what the building blocks that we've brought into today. So now we get to write about what we want for tomorrow. What do you desire? What are the goals that you desire? The intentions, and you can base this. You can look at your circle of life that you wrote out, and you can look at that and go, okay, well, I want to move the needle from 5 to closer to 10 in my health journey. So that's going to be, I'm going to base one of my major, goals, intentions, desires on my health journey, right? Then you've got business goals. Some of them are going to be really masculine. Masculine is like, I would love to serve 100 women in my group. Like, I'm starting a new membership group February 1st, and it's going to be coaching. There's going to be live coaching, live workshops. There's going to be guest speakers. Get ready, Karen. There's going to be guest speakers in the group. There's going to be connection, collaboration, like the ability to like talk about your business in the group, all sorts of stuff. And I have put that on hold for so long. I am done. Like, this is what I want to serve as many people as I can, and I want 100 women in that group, fastest or more in this year. And I want that because the intention is that I want to be able to serve as many people as I can, and not everybody can jump into an $800,000 whatever program per month. That's not meant for everybody. But there's a step between here and there. If I can help people get there through this first step, this is my goal. And so, but that is a masculine goal. That's like, okay, I have to get the group up and running. I reverse engineer. I'm launching February 1st. I'm going to talk about it these days. I'm going to put the graphics out these days, right? So we have all the little steps to that masculine goal. The feminine goal is like, I want to love myself more. I want to fully embrace and love this woman in here. I want to talk kinder to her. I want to treat her with respect. I want to wake up every morning and I want to have a belief system that this body, no matter what size, shape, this and that, is the best freaking body ever. And I want to respect it every day. And I want to feed it with nutritious food, this and that. So that is something that, like, it's not like a number to put a finger on, right? So that's kind of more of the feminine goal. And there's still steps to that, but those are steps that aren't as measurable as create the graphic, post it on this day, email the people. That's like the masculine steps to the goal. There are steps that you can take towards the feminine goal of like having like the body love of you've always desired, but it's not as like you can't put, does that make sense? Put your finger on it. So know that different goals are kind of going to be treated different ways. So that's why I bring the intentions into play. So when you write these goals out, so for example, I have a couple like, yes, I do want to do exactly what I just described. Like, I love my body as it is, and I'm going to show that in some of the pictures that I take when I'm on the beach. Like, I'm going to do beach pictures. That's not the Jackie from the past in a bathing suit, whether I'm jumping in the air or this and that, whatever it is, like that's uncomfortable for me. It will be comfortable once I'm done with this trip. And I will step into that woman on this trip. I already told the photographer that, and she's like, yeah, so I'm picking what's uncomfortable and I'm going to step into that here so I can break through another part of what is holding me back from fully owning the leader within me, fully empowering her. She's awake. I always say that's my 3 steps of my process is awaken, empower, and own. She's awake and she's like, come on, Jackie, own this shit. Excuse my language, but that's where she's at now. And so now I'm just putting actions into play to help me own and empower that woman that has awakened. And she's like, come on, I want to play. So step 3 is really writing what those what those goals are, but how would you feel when it's done? So for that feminine goal of like fully embodying, like loving the body that you're in, like fully like appreciating and loving it. Well, what does that feel like? It feels freeing. It feels peaceful. It feels quiet. The chatter goes away. The closer and closer I get to that, the more and more the chatter in my head of all the things goes away. You know how much more space is in my brain to do more valuable things for the world when I clear the chatter about the conversation about my body that I have with myself or with food? Like there's so much space now in my brain that I can use for other things. So what would it feel like when I'm in that place? You just naturally grab things that feel good. You naturally walk by a mirror and look. How many people don't look? Because they just don't want to look at it. You're willing to get naked in front of the mirror and look. That took a long time. So that's that version. Then there's the what would it feel like when I've served 100 women in this community where they're able to get what they need so they can change the thoughts that are going on in their head, so that they can think different, so they can have different thoughts, feelings, actions, and results towards their dreams, towards their vision. I'll feel freaking amazing. And we like to say the word, it'd be exciting. Yeah, exciting for like this much. But it would feel like I just would have so much gratitude, appreciation, motivation to do even more. So that's what I want you to take and write out. What are the goals? But then what are the intentions behind the goals? Like, if you achieve this, what would it feel like? What would you hear? What would you see? Go through all the senses. And then those you get to bring in today. You get to make those as if it's already happened for whatever the goal is. So if I would feel excited, like 100 people in the group, excited, serving my purpose, appreciative, grateful, motivated, I can take all those to today, right? There's no reason why they can't be part of my today. But I've got to feel it, because the only way we change the current beliefs we have in our brain and rewire them is elevated emotion and a repetition. So I've got to live in that, speak to it, read it, see it often. This is not like a one and done, like, oh, I wrote it out, I felt it, it's gonna happen. No, it's got to be something you revisit and revisit and revisit. So I think there's a video on Fave somewhere about me doing the intentions. I think we posted that video when we wrote the monthly intentions, and that's what I spoke about last time. So that's just a piece of this process of how to take yourself from today, where you're at, celebrate where you've come from, and go into the future vision that you desire and turn that vision into that reality. But there's different pieces. We got to do it all. Like, I was doing this piece and I was doing this piece, but I wasn't doing that past piece. And that's made me so excited for today and so driven for today to be able to feel what all those intentions that I write about. I started just going through the motions. Like, we learn something, right? We learn a process and we're like, okay, I gotta do my intentions, and I'd write it out and I would like, yep, okay, these are the feelings. And then I kind of was like, Jackie, you're going through the motions. There's no longer elevated feelings that attach to this. You're just going through the motions because oh, if I do this, this is the process. No. If you get to that point with any process, guys, and it doesn't elevate the emotion, doesn't make you feel what it is that you truly desire, then you've got to tweak the process. Change the process, talk to somebody, have someone help you through that. Okay, and step 4. I already talked about it, but I'm going to say it again, is bringing it all to today. So whatever emotions and excitement and feelings and thoughts and what are you going to see, feel, taste, this, that, you get to bring all that into today. And one of the things that I like to do to help me stand in that version of me of what I desire is I try to find ways to put myself there. So for example, like I'm living on a ranch with animals and horses. I want horses one day and I want a lot of property. So when my friend said, "Hey, I got full hookups," we were like, "Peace, we're coming," because I want to experience this now and be in the fact that I can sit outside. Not going to move to Texas. I don't think Texas is in the realm, but it gives me the same experience. I still want my mountain and my lake and stuff like that, but the experience, and I get to go play with the horses and not have to like necessarily have that right now because I can't, I don't have the means to jump into that right now, but at least I get to experience it and feel it and go, yeah, this is happening. I don't know when, but it's happening. It is so happening that I'm gonna have my property, lake house, mountain view, 2 horses, kids playing, them swinging off into the lake, me sitting by the fire with my open windows. Like I've got the picture and I've got the things that I want, but it's the feelings that I get when I think about that that motivate me today, that drive me today to go towards that. So let me just recap real quick the different steps that you can take to really, really like take where you are today and change that thought pattern. And what I teach with my clients is that thought model, which I know I've also talked about on one of our calls. I don't think that's recorded, but I go through the thought model on how like we all have things that we want, results, but what actions do we need to take to get those results? But what thoughts and feelings do we have to be in for those actions and the results to occur? And those thoughts and the feelings are really what we've got to rewire in here so that we can step into it. And all of these different pieces that I'm teaching today help you create the thoughts and the feelings that will get you the actions and results that you truly desire instead of what you currently have. And I'm not saying we're unhappy with where we're at today, but there's always a little more. We get to celebrate today and go for the more. So 1, where are you today? The life circle. And to revisit that every few months. 2, celebrate the past. Do the Hindsite Vision Board. Print some pictures. And even if you don't necessarily make the whole thing, print the pictures. It felt so good to just kind of like touch and feel the memories in my hand, and bring me back. 3, write out what you desire, the lessons you learned from 2021 with that Hindsite Vision Board, and then kind of look at them and be like, what do you desire to take with you? And what does the future look like that's different than today? And get into those feelings, emotions, thoughts, senses, and everything, and bring those into today. Because again, we cannot live on the past that we cannot change. If we live there, or if we live in the future of the worries that we cannot control, that's the definition of insanity. We've got to live in today. And how do we make today different than today, which is, yeah, I know it's probably sounds really odd, is bringing that future we desire into the moment and feeling it and living it and loving it. And don't get me wrong, along the way, there's still pain, discomfort, and all that stuff. It happens. That's life. Accept it. And you get to live in all of that other joy, love, peace, happiness today. And the last one is the last thing is that just have fun along the journey, guys. Have fun. And I like to say, is this, when I make a decision, is this something that sounds fun to do? Not that everything in life is going to be fun, but is it from a place of pleasure versus pressure? I did a lot of pressure towards the last quarter of last year. I felt very pressured to do certain things and they were not aligned with me. And I felt that resistance and I didn't listen. I didn't trust the resistance. When you have the resistance, stop and go, okay, is this from a place of fear? Is this from a place of me feeling I have to do what I have to do because I should, because someone else said it, this, that? How many times someone told me don't do a membership? I've been told not to do a membership for like a year now by another coach. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's because it's a lot of work. You need lots of people. You need this and that. I'm like, okay. And then finally I like released all the noise and I was like, oh, this feels so good. And it's happening February 1st. So that's it. Is there any questions, comments, please let me know. Thank you so much, Karen, for having me. Again, how you reach me is we're all friends on Facebook. Just message me privately. If you have any questions that maybe you don't want to bring up here, message me privately. If we haven't been on a call, we haven't connected together, done a connect call, let's do that. And I would love to. I think I've connected with Victoria. I haven't connected with you yet. We got to get on a call one day and learn more about each other. And that's what I got.
Jackie, thank you so much. What great things to put in. I'm going to actually stop the recording so we can have some conversations. So just hold tight here, but thank you so much for coming and teaching today. Appreciate it.
So welcome.